Hey guys, today we're talking about doodling. Doodling is a lot of fun. I know some people don't really feel comfortable with doodling. Personally, I really like it, but I also like drawing a lot, and that's kind of my flair is doodling and drawing people and just being fun and whimsical, right? There's a lot of different things you can do with this, and it's very simple and easy. If you need ideas, there's so much stuff on the website, whether it's Pinterest or different YouTube videos, but there's so many things you can use, and I'm just going to show you a few of those things. I'm going to show you some of my doodling items I have done so far, and this is one I created quite a few years ago, I guess. This one, there's not a ton of doodling on this one, but I did do a doodled border around the outside edge. On the love title here, I did use just a pencil and I outlined that. I just made it myself. I didn't use a stencil or anything. And then I covered it with red Sharpie and erased it. And then here, I just drew squiggly lines with a pencil and then wrote in some journaling, and I left the pencil there. A lot of people could just use a black Sharpie or a fine tipped pen. And I do that sometimes as well, but this way I just put the pencil. So that is one example of doodling. I've got quite a few I can show you, but I'm just going to show you a few. These ones I did when I was at a CKU event in 2006, and I believe it was Teresa Collins that taught this class. This was a Teresa Collins line of papers that she used to have. But anyways, what we did here is we cut this all out. We freehanded that and we just kind of drew around squiggly lines. But if you do have the Creative Memories trimmer, that would work as well. So you could cut those out with that. Very easy. On the green here, we edged it with a black ink, and then just also had black lines all around the edges, so it had like a defined edge. You could ink that, but we used a black felt like fine tip mark. And then we wrote in our titles in some of those, and other ones we just left it. With this up here in the black, we used a white gel pen, but another pen I think works great that I use all the time is the Sharpie, the white wet paint, water paint marker, and that works great for that as well. Here on the flowers, there's one here, the red one here, and the blue one here. We just outlined the outer edge and inside and used like a little bit of a break line, and that kind of defines the flower, and that looks really cool too. Another page we did, this also is a 2-pager. This one's a little bit different when it comes to doodling. But anyways, these are all in my album, so I just took them out just to show you. But here, this line here, there is, basically what we did here is we just drew the squares, the rectangles, and then took some pink paint and put that in there. This actually is just paper cut out with the lines drawn through it. On this page here, it's a little bit different. Back when I did this was about 2006, and that's when the Making Memories paint was very, very popular. So we used that paint, and I just used with a sponge brush. It went down and across, and then once that dried, we put the black lines through here. This here, I don't believe masks were out at the time, but that was just a flower that was made out of paper, and we put that down and dry brush with our sponge brush and did the pink around it and then lifted it. And then here, same thing, kind of like a star flower, whatever. I wrote all my friends that were here. I wrote all their names around, and same thing here, just went around the edge, you know, wrote around the heart, and that was pretty simple and pretty cool, I thought. This one here, this one was also a little bit of doodling as well, and this one was a little bit different in the sense that we used a lot of fabric. This one was taught by Elsie Flanagan back in 2006 as well. We used a lot of ribbon on here. yeah, so sorry, I think I said felt, I meant ribbon. This is ribbon all the way around here. This green circle is paper, and then we just used the white pen. It was a different pen back then, but it was very similar to this one, the Sharpie, and did the circle around there. But yeah, everything else here is ribbon plus the button, and this is all ribbon. That's paper. This was paper we just cut out, which was very similar to the first one I showed you with the squiggle lines, just a different effect. Put the paper there and then wrote the title and everything on there. And then this is just paper, and again took my pen and just drew circles inside the circles. So that was another idea. This one I just created actually last week, and it's a little bit different take. This is in my art journal, and this was very simple, very fun, and very easy to do. Basically with this one, I started off, the black here is black gesso, and I will be doing a video on gesso for anybody that is new to gesso, but it's black gesso, and then I will get into that after. But here I just went around, did my outside line first with the white Sharpie. Again, I use this a fair bit, and I started with the circles in corners and whatnot. I started the circles and then built my petals around there. This is all freehand, and then just did my squiggles outside. The colors on here is a little bit different. I use the Tim Holtz distress crayons. I have a whole bunch of these and they work great. A lot of fun. So works great with water, a little bit of water in your finger, and I just blended it in. But yeah, so that was that one. And then the titles and the words and whatnot, I did all of this on the computer. And then before I cut out each of these, I just took my black Zig pen and made the squiggle lines and then cut it out and attached it to it. So that was another fun and easy page to do for my art journal. And then I also did this one. Disregard this one. I was just doing a little Dina Wakley fun. But this one here, I was just being cheeky and having a great time with this one. But same idea as the other ones I've shown you. I went on the outside edge first, and I did the little squiggle outside. Here, like the other layouts, I drew my line in. Instead of the paper like I showed you before, I drew the lines in, and then just did the saying I had in that line. Before I got down to the bottom, I actually drew the mushrooms. Those were all freehand. If you need any help, you don't know how to do something like that, you could always go online, or any paper die cuts you might have. You could get ideas on how to draw stuff like that from those. And then each one of these stems, I knew I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I did different designs in there. And yeah, this was also with black gesso. And this one I used the distress crayons as well. And I also use, and I love these, the Dina Wakley scribble sticks. So these are great too. There's way more than this, but I have multiple, so I have some in every tin. But they're very fun and colorful. These work very similar to these. You can use them with water, and they are just so much fun. I highly recommend them. There's 3 different kits. There's 1, 2, and then the third one is the metallics. So yeah, this is a little bit just of some different ideas you can do for doodling, and just having a lot of fun with that. And I highly recommend putting your writing on some of your layouts and your creations, because people will love to see those down the road, because it's a little bit of you. It's not just stencils or computers or whatever. It's a little piece of your actual work and who you are. So yeah, we'll cover some of the other projects or products I told you about, like using the Sharpie or distress crayons, the scribble sticks, and gesso in future videos. So make sure you like and subscribe to this. I do doodling on a lot of my layouts. It's very common for me to do doodling, and I really enjoy it. And I think it's also a really nice addition to put a little bit of you into your layouts. So when people do look at things, they see a little bit of your writing, a little bit of your artistic side, and not just the items you create with paint and things. They actually see a little bit of you. So that's just my little bit of blurb on doodling for today, and I will be back again with some other creative and fun things for you later. Talk to you then.